Hi and welcome. My name is Cassie. I'm a perinatal yoga teacher and corrective exercise specialist. And today I'm going to guide you through a gentle yoga class to help release tension in your pelvic floor. Tension, tightness, or what's called a hypertonic pelvic floor can increase your chances of tearing during birth. It can cause sex to be painful, contribute to leaking, and a host of other issues. If you want to learn more about this area of your body, I also have a free guide that you can download via the link in my description. And I do recommend seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist in your area if you have access, since they can better assess what actually is happening with your pelvic floor and as well as do some internal work to help it release. For class today, we are going to be using either 1 or 2 yoga blocks. So grab those and come join me on your yoga mat. We're going to get started today in a child's pose. Bring your big toes together, open your knees out nice and wide, and then reach your arms forward. Or you can support your head with your hands, or even take a block or two under your head if you need to make more space for your belly. If the feet feel like they're cramping at any point, another option is you can tuck your toes under. So move a little side to side. Allow the hips to settle. And then take a big inhale through your nose, thinking of filling your body like a balloon. Breathing into the front, the sides of your back. Send that inhale all the way down to the pelvic floor. And then exhale, open your mouth, let a sigh out. Continue with these breaths. As you inhale, see if you can feel your breath moving down to your pelvic floor. So from your pubic bone in the front to your tailbone in the back, and then from one sitting bone to the other sitting bone, so like a diamond shape. Picture sending that inhale down to the diamond, opening your mouth with an exhale, letting it go. If you can't feel that inhale going down to your pelvic floor today, visualize it going there. Visualization is strong. So visualize that inhale going all the way down, like you're widening around your vaginal opening. Your anus is opening. Even the front towards your clitoris, picture that opening. And exhaling, let your body soften. Hips heavy, face relaxes. And a couple more like this. That audible sigh out, that sound stimulates your vagus nerve. That helps you relax. When you relax, your pelvic floor helps to let go. One more breath. And from here, come on to your hands and knees. I know I have a marking where I just had those blocks on my forehead. You can take the blocks now underneath your hands, or just bring your hands to the ground. And let's start some cat and cows. Begin by lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, curl the hips under, curl the pelvis under. You can add in the upper body as well. So breathe in, send your hips up to the ceiling, open through the chest. Think of broadening from sit bone to sit bone. And then exhale, tucking the pelvis under, round through your back. One more like this. Inhale, lift the hips high. Like you're trying to send your tailbone up to the ceiling. Rotate it under. And then come back through center and start to wag your hips side to side. So like a C shape, you're going to bring your hips over to the left. Look over your left shoulder. And then wag your hips over to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Keep going at your own pace, thinking of bringing your hips towards your ribs on that side. It's like you're trying to decrease that space from hip to rib. Good. Side to side. Your head can follow. And now come through center. We're going to put that together, making circles with our hips. Lift your tailbone up to the ceiling. Move it over to the left. Round the pelvis under. To the right. And back up. And then smooth that out. Start to make big circles with your hips. Like your pubic bone is drawing a big O. The upper body can go along or not. And then switch the direction. Other way, big circles, move the hips around. Toes can be tucked under or flat. And then come through center. If it's a lot on your hands, you can come down to your forearms as well. From here, reach your right leg out to the side. Yeah, so straight out to the side. Tuck your left toes under and start to send your hips back towards your heels, opening through your inner thigh muscle. And then come back to all fours. From here, reach your right leg straight out to the side, getting into your inner thighs. Tuck your left toes under and send your hips back towards your heels so you feel that opening into that right inner thigh. And then bring your shoulders back forward over your wrists. Do this a couple times. Inhale, send your hips back. Exhale, bring them forward. One more time. Send the hips back. Bring them forward. Hold here. Reach your left arm now up to the ceiling. Rotate the chest. Reach your arm under your body. Head can drop to the floor or to a block. Hold here for a breath. And then come onto your hands again. Take that right leg back, knee to the ground, and then switch to the other side. Left leg reaches out. Tuck your right toes under. Send your hips back towards your heel as you breathe in. Exhale, bring the shoulders over the wrists, rocking forward. 2 more. Breathe in, hips go back. And forward. Our inner thighs connect into our pelvic floor. Tightness in the inner thighs usually means tightness in the pelvic floor. One more time, back. Bring it forward. Hold with your shoulders above your wrists. Again, you can do this on your elbows. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling. And thread it under, dropping your head to the floor or a block. Breathe into your rib cage, lateral breath. And then come back. Bring your left knee to your mat. From here, have a seat. Bring your legs around in front of you. Straighten your right leg forward. Bend your left foot either to your inner thigh or to your calf. And then with an inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, flat back, lean forward. Good. Hands can come to the ground, but maintain the length in your spine versus rounding over. And again, visualize your pelvic floor, which is from the pubic bone in the front, the tailbone in the back, and then the right sitting bone to the left sitting bone. Visualize that diamond anchoring into the ground. And come back up. Bend your right knee. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Hands can come behind you. You can even go down to your elbows. That'll decrease the intensity. Flex through your left foot, and you should feel a stretch into this left outer hip. Can move a little side to side. And a lot of times people are surprised to learn that their pelvic floor connects to their tailbone. So tailbone pain, deep butt pain can all be associated with pelvic floor tension. And then go ahead and let's switch sides. Bring your left foot forward, bend your right knee, foot can come to your inner thigh or your calf. Reach your arms up, ground down through the hips, lean forward with a flat back. And then once you've hit your edge of resistance, drop your fingers. Soften the face. Visualize that breath. Inhale down to the floor. And lift up. Bend your left knee. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Again, you can stay on your hands or come to your elbows, finding a spot where you feel a gentle opening in your right outer hip. Move the legs a little side to side and explore how that right thigh feels, that right hip feels. It can also be common to have tension only on one side of your pelvic floor. One hip may be feeling tighter than the other. And then release your right foot to the ground, straighten both legs. Now you're just going to shake your legs. So you're going to shake your feet. Let the rest of your legs shake. Good. This is also one of my favorite ways to do a quick release of the pelvic floor, right? The feet connect into the legs, connect into the pelvic floor. So shake them out. Just let all that tension go, any stress you've been holding on to. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Your hands can even come to your thighs, really shake the muscles, the fat, the tissue. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Don't hold anything back here. And then allow them to come to stillness. Feel that vibration in your feet, in your legs. From here, we're going to come into a straddle pose, sometimes called dragonfly. Open your legs out. Again, you can kind of just move a little side to side to feel the sitting bones on the ground. And then walk yourself forward. If you're right up here and the inner thighs feel so super tight, totally fine. Can relax your eyes, even drop your head, or you can come a little lower, maybe to elbows or to elbows on blocks. We're just going to hold here for about a minute. Once again, seeing if you can feel down to the pelvic floor. As you inhale, picture that diamond opening up, widening from sitting bone to sitting bone. And then exhale like it's rippling away, widening even more. And then that progresses. Inhale again, widens the sitting bones. Exhale, like when you throw a pebble into water and the circles ripple. Picture your pelvic floor doing that. Your cervix starts to do that during birth. Right? It ripples away. It opens up. And last breath here. And then walk yourself back up. And we're going to come to lay on our backs. If you're not comfortable on your back, I will show you an alternative, but we'll only be here for a couple of minutes. Roll to your side, then to your back. And then come into happy baby pose by bringing your heels toward your pelvis, knees out as wide or wider than your armpits. Grab the outside of your feet or your ankles. And then rather than lifting the heels up to the ceiling right away, which can cause your low back and tailbone to lift off the ground, I want you to keep your lower back on the ground, heels closer to your pelvis, and picture your tailbone unraveling towards the floor, like it's curling away from your anus. An alternative you can take is malasana. So if you don't feel comfortable on your back, instead you can come right here, creating a similar sort of shape with your knees wide, heels close in, and then just staying right here. This pose is slightly more active, which is why I like happy baby, but whichever one feels better for you. I'm going to be here again for about a minute. Keep that image of the ripples in water. Your pelvic floor muscles are those ripples. Opening up. And you can take a little rock side to side. And then bring the knees back in, down to the floor. And if you're in malasana, you can join us down on the floor to take supported bridge pose. So now you're going to take your block or 2 blocks if that feels better. Place it right under your sacrum, which is that flat triangular bone at the base of your spine, right above the tailbone. Right, so the pelvis is nice and heavy on this block. As a side, if this isn't comfortable or if you have a harder block, you can use a firm pillow. Give your weight into the block. Stay with your knees bent or see how extending the legs feels. Allow your body to melt down as you breathe out. And we're going to close off this practice with some humming. The humming sound opens the back of our throat, which opens the pelvic floor. There was a study that found that people with jaw tension or TMJ, 100% of them had tightness in their pelvic floor. So there's fascial connections, there's estrogen receptors in the jaw. So there's lots of things, even the nerves that govern tightness in the jaw affect the pelvic floor. So humming can be a really easy way to help relax that. inhale like you were before. And then on your exhale, you're going to hum. I'll do about 4 or 5 of them. Just join me at your own pace. Send that inhale down to the pelvic floor. Pause for a second. And then you can silently say to yourself, my pelvic floor is open and relaxed. My pelvic floor is open and relaxed. I release tension and allow myself to surrender. I release tension and allow myself to surrender. And slowly, as you're ready, lift your hips up to remove your block, roll to your side, and make your way up to your seat one more time. Reach your arms up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Thank yourself for taking this time of intentionally relaxing this area. And then from my heart to yours, thank you. Namaste. I hope that you enjoyed today's practice. If you would like to learn more about your pelvic floor, be sure to download my free guide linked in the description below and subscribe to my channel for more pre- and postnatal yoga videos.